8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, welcome back. This is your host Vandana Joshil, and I am super happy to have this third episode of the year 2024. This is 1st of March. It is a very special month for women across the globe. March 8th is when we celebrate International Women's Day, and this is celebrated world over. So, this is a very special month for us because Aate Jate from today onwards, right till the end of the month, I'm sure we are going to be bombarded with award ceremonies, with recognitions, with people applauding us, stores giving us discounts, poetry being written for us, and so much more. Are we excited about March? Yes, we are excited because who doesn't like a good discount? But before that, there are many other things that we women can talk about, should talk about, and must talk about. But before we get into all of that, let me quickly give you a rundown about LAJA. LAJA TV is a segment, a special segment of LAJA, which is a forum for women's learning, growth, development, and self empowerment. And we talk about self empowerment because we believe that though women are already empowered, though women are able to manage multiple roles with ease, they need to be heard, to be acknowledged, to be applauded, to be encouraged. And when all of this is in place, only then will a woman really, truly be empowered. So that is what we talk about. Laja has chapters across Mumbai, Gujarat, Delhi, Pune, and Hyderabad. We're always open to opening up new chapters across the country. We're especially looking for 2 and 3 tier cities because empowerment and learning and growth and development should happen across the country. Like I said, today's episode is special because we have a very special guest with us. And before I bring her on screen, let me introduce her because her introduction is amazing. So listen to this. Today we have with us Ankita Anand. She's a journalist, writer, poet, and is based out of Delhi and has been published in various languages and countries. She's an editor with Unbiased the News, and she's been awarded the International Labour Organization's Media Award, Ivan Bofanti Media Prize, European Commission's Lorenzo Natali Media Prize, Statements Award for Rural Reporting, United Nations Population Fund Lardli Media Award, Sampath South Asia Arts Prize, Singapore Poetry Prize, and poetry prizes from the International Labour Organization and Arts Illustrated, among others. Ankita's work has been supported by grants from the One World Media, Climate Tracker, Sanskriti Foundation, Journalism Fund EU, Clean Energy Wire, host writer, Thomas Reuters Foundation, Center for Media Studies, GIZ, New Economic Coalition, The Rules, Tactical Tech, Center for World Indigenous Studies, and India Friends Association. There's a lot more to her. But she received the Jiggy Wish Fellowship to facilitate poetry workshops for girls in Delhi's government schools, and the She Creates Change Fellowship to campaign for dignified visual representation of sexual violence survivors in the media. She also was selected to be part of the Changemakers program hosted by Thomas Reuters Foundation. She specializes in long form reporting with a focus on gender, labor, climate, environment, land, corruption, human rights, and indigenous communities. She has recently published a volume of socio-political poetry in Hindi called Ab Meri Bari, and we will also request her to read out one poem from there for us. So, without any further ado, let me welcome Ankita on stage. Welcome, Ankita. So happy to have you here with us.
Thank you so much, Vandana, and thanks for keeping this conversation alive. क्योंकि कुछ लोगों की बात सुने तो ऐसा लगता है कि सब कुछ हो गया है, औरतों के सारे मसले हल हो गए हैं, और पहले सिर्फ महबूब का चांद हुआ करती थी, अब चांद पे पहुंच चुकी है, तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. सो आई एम रियली ग्लैड दैट यू आर आइडेंटिफाइंग द इम्पोर्टेंट कंसर्न्स and keeping them alive and getting some work done on them through this channel. So thanks for having me.
थैंक यू सो मच. यू आर राइट अंकिता, हम चांद पे तो पहुंच गए हैं, लेकिन मेरे हिसाब से चांद पे जितनी सेफ्टी है वहां पे हमें इस कंट्री में, देश में, इस धरती पर इतनी सेफ्टी नहीं है जितनी चांद पे है. सो वी विल कम टू द चांद लेटर ऑन. लेट अस फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड. I would like to know, want I've given your introduction to everybody, so I'm sure people know what you're talking about. But to get deeper into this, as someone who, you're almost sleeping, breathing, eating about being unbiased, because you're talking about gender, you're talking about climate, you're talking about the world, you're talking about your indigenous communities. So you're basically being unbiased. But what are your thoughts on how women are perceived in the world today? Is it any different from how our grandmothers were treated?
One thing about the word unbiased, I mean, even in the manifesto we have, we say very clearly that we are anti-racist, feminist. So if you see that, or if anyone sees that as a bias, then we have that bias, or rather that, I would say positive bias, because to make things equal, you need to focus a little extra on things that are not equal. The second question about women's perception, I feel like there has been a lot of positive change, because women have had to prove themselves through a lot of obstacles. Also because they got many more opportunities than my grandmother did. So I have had more chances to prove myself that my grandmother did, and a lot of these opportunities were created by women before me, who could not access them themselves. But I came in and I had that field ready for me, and I would like to do that the same for the next generation. But of course, there's also a lot of there has come in a kind of shrewdness and cleverness also about being politically correct, where the perception is the same as women being lesser or not being as competent, or they would be divided between their housework and organizational work, and they will not contribute as much, which is couched very cleverly and not shown as clearly. So somewhere this perception is still there, but many people are not saying it out aloud. In fact, they would sound quite woke. Uh, but in their actions, they will show that they are not actually seeing women as equal. So it's kind of a mix. A little bit has changed. A lot remains the same.
True. So though we have gone far, we have come far. Like you said, हम चांद पे पहुंचे हैं. There really hasn't been too much of a change, and there is a weird kind of discussion or debate that happens when you're talking about women's empowerment. So, for instance, we recently had Smriti Irani, who is a well-known public figure who represents us in the parliament, represents women. I mean, she recently quoted controversy when she said menstruation is not a handicap. Now, what do you make of this? As a person who is a woman myself, I have two daughters too. I realize that menstruation might not be a handicap, but it is a reality. It happens. It happens to all women. The way we deal with it differs. But was that justified? Was she justified in saying that? उसमें कोई weight था क्या?
I appreciate the fact that Ms. Irani clarified that it is a personal opinion, and they are not the officiating
True.
ministry on it. And she is entitled to her personal opinion for that matter. It is different for every woman, as you
Yes.
well know, Vandana. Uh, in my 20s, it was a painful period for me. I have been hospitalized twice. So, yeah, I mean, I was definitely not attending my classes on those days. Uh, And now it's not as bad as, it's okay, I can handle it and it's all right, and I do my usual work pretty much. So to kind of, we cannot really make it universal for everyone. So at that point, if I had been in an office, I would have needed those 2 days. At this point, I probably wouldn't. And I don't think, I think it's a very short-sighted view of things to look at these 2 days. My mother's a professor in Bihar, and she showed me the circular where women could avail of this leave ages ago, years ago. And she also told me that nobody is actually taking this leave because to say that, raise your hand and say, I'm going to be on my period in 5 days. Can I get leave? It's not easy, so nobody was doing it because there was that stigma. There would be that smirking, oh, she's just here to take an easy salary and go home. But the fact of the matter is, every person in the organization gets assigned some work, and you have to finish that work. And even going to an office, scientifically it has been proved that beyond a certain number of hours, and it's 3 4, somewhere between 3 and 5 hours, you cannot do deep work. After that, you can do some emails. There's a lot of water cooler conversation happening in
Yes,
offices, birthday parties, all sorts of things. We know that when we go to an office, our mind recognizes it as work. But how much work really gets done in an office? Not because, I'm not saying the employees are incompetent, but because the capacity of humans to do good deep work is limited per day. So I would even take it beyond gender and say that, if you, like, I'm a freelancer, so nobody is monitoring my work day by day, but I have to submit my assignment. So I find myself on certain days, certain weekdays not working, and sometimes on Sundays I worked, and holidays I worked. So if you respect someone, if you respect someone's need, and I've been working, been very lucky working for the past few years, I would say, with organizations that really respect my autonomy, my integrity, and the amount of trust they have invested in me. So I get paid by the number of days I work for these organizations, and nobody is monitoring my number of days, and I am honestly monitoring it myself. Uh, and I'm not saying this is happening because I'm special or I'm a very honest person. It's happening because, when you invest in a person's goodness and integrity, you also get it back.
yes,
So this kind of
absolutely.
suspicious relationship between the employer and the employee and not caring for their well-being ultimately harms a company. It has been seen also. That's why a lot of companies have reduced their weeks to 4-day weeks.
Yes,
And again, I'm like taking it beyond gender, looking at everyone who deserves a healthy workplace. And they have found that the overall productivity has increased. तो ये सोच बदलनी होगी कि ये मैंने बेकारी के लिए मजदूर पकड़ा है, अब उससे एकदम कोड़े मार मार के काम निकलवाओ, तभी मैं उसको
बिल्कुल।
दिन के 10 रुपए या वो मोटा अनाज उसको दूंगा. Change that mindset. Don't treat people that way, and people will give it back to you.
Absolutely. We are talking here, actually, in this 21st century, we should be talking about efficiency and quality work instead of quantity work. I mean, I could be sitting in office from 9 to say 12 o'clock and doing just nothing, or watching a series, binge watching Netflix without really doing work. Or I could be, putting in 3 hours of solid, focused work and finishing my work on time. And I think that is what should really matter over here. सो यस, बट ये जो डिबेट उन्होंने कही थी, ऑफ कोर्स शी स्पोक इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रोफेशनल्स एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट, बट अभी भी हमारे देश में, इवन इन अ प्लेस लाइक मुंबई, मुंबई में भी काफ़ी schools है, म्यूनसिपालिटी schools या schools which are run for really poor or आदिवासी children. In Mumbai also we have these छोटे छोटे hamlets जहाँ पे आदिवासी रहते हैं. वहाँ पे भी अभी भी कितनी सारी बच्चियां हैं जो पीरियड्स के टाइम स्कूल नहीं जाती, क्योंकि वन, दे डोंट हैव प्रॉपर एक्सेस टू हाइजीनिक वॉशरूम्स. And I was shocked to hear of girl students not going because they do not have underwear to wear. मतलब आपके पास अंडरवेयर ही नहीं है तो आप पैड कहाँ डालोगे, so in all of that, I think thoda sa sensitivity, thoda sa understanding should be, brought in. And this is a discussion which I think everybody should seriously sit down and be taking. And I think in ये तो मेरा ओपिनियन है कि ये जो पीपल ऑफ पावर, पीपल हु आर इन positions to make a change should also be in, including women also. Your decision makers should not just be men, is what I believe in, and I'm sure you also agree to that. uh, okay, this is like a long drawn conversation jo hum, I mean, there is nothing conclusive that we can come to when we talk about menstrual pain and menstrual hygiene and all of that for women. But what about talking about equal opportunities for women uh, in every stream? क्या अपॉर्चुनिटीज है? अगर है तो हमको दिखते नहीं है क्या, कि नहीं है इसलिए हमको दिख रहा है कि अपॉर्चुनिटीज है ही नहीं?
Opportunities हैं. There are also some organizations that have proactively made space for women, for hiring women. So all that also has to be looked at. Of course, it's a smaller percentage, but there is some at some places there are genuine efforts being made. Uh, the thing is, it has to, like very rightly talked of menstruating girls and them dropping out, and there has been a regular studies have shown that after puberty the rate of dropout for girls
Yes.
increases. So now we cannot expect those girls to perform the same way when they've dropped out and suddenly they join college again, then they would have difficulty catching up. So similarly, when we create opportunities, maybe you know DEI is a cool mantra these days: diversity, equity, inclusion. So maybe we have created these places in offices, in some offices, say, and those kinds of freedom or that kind of support is not there at home. So actually that opportunity has not been created, because how will she step outside the home, leaving the children? And that's not a personal issue. Everyone sits on your head when you're married to have children, right? So it
Yes.
seems like everyone wants a part of it, a part of you having kids. And nobody wants a part of the responsibility, even if they say things like hum paal denge, etc.
हाँ, हाँ.
And it's a big responsibility. It's not just about feeding. It's a very wholesome upbringing that any child needs. So if women are not getting support there, then they will struggle in joining an office, or they will struggle once they have joined the office. And then people will say that, see, these women are getting calls from home, or they're leaving early. So you want the women to reproduce, but you're not going to support them. You know,
True.
maybe you are happy to hire them in your offices, but at home you're not supporting them. So uh, I hear a lot of these Durga figures we have making अरे Sunday को ready to eat packet से डोसा भी बन गया, noodles भी बन गया.
Yes, yes.
Everyone is talking about, you can do it, you can do this too, you can do it all, you are a superwoman. No, she's not a superwoman or superhuman. Nobody should be a man or a woman. Nobody should have to do so much. So everyone is saying you can do it all. Nobody is saying, oh my God, you should not have to do it all. You should
Do it all.
not have to
Yes.
do this much. This will lead to your mental and physical breakdown,
Yes.
and you will not, I mean, we will lose you ultimately in various ways. So I think opportunities have to be looked at right from home to the organizational spaces, and not just as how much percentage of women are being hired and so on.
ट्रू. अगेन यहाँ पे तो ये भी बात आती है कि व्हेन अ वुमन इज अ प्रोफेशनल, व्हेन शी इज गोइंग टू वर्क, शी इज एनीवेज डूइंग डबल ड्यूटी, क्योंकि वो घर पर ड्यूटी करके बाहर जाती है, काम पे जाती है, फिर काम से वापस आके फिर ड्यूटी संभालती है. सो इट्स डबल ड्यूटी इन एनी केस. So ये sensitization is very important, to know that the house is not just her responsibility, but it also, it's a joint responsibility. So at Lajja हमने हमेशा कहा है कि we are not into a man bashing kind of a मोर्चा और kind of thing. हम ये believe करते हैं कि it's a world where we want to share space with men. It's a joint collaboration that we are talking about a man and a woman being together and running the world together. And while it still seems like a utopian dream, we hope that ऐसा एक दिन आएगा जब हम बोलेंगे कि yes, this has truly worked. Now, when we talk about all of this, we talk about work, we talk about professionalism and all of that. What about safe spaces for women? Now, in a city like Mumbai, we know that we can still be out at 2 in the night and safely get back home. Yes, कहीं ना कहीं fear है, डर लगता है, and we keep send our share our statuses with our family कि हम अभी कैब में बैठे हैं, हम यहाँ पे पास करें and all of that. But it is relatively safer. What about the other cities across the country? And are we really giving women safe spaces?
Vandana, since we have in the in past decades, I don't know, forever it feels like since I was born, I've been hearing about issues around women's safety, the logistics of it, the government part of it, the citizens part of it, what women can do, what men can do, etc. So just to just not to repeat and to have a bit of a refreshing outlook on it, because also women's issues are created by men, and men's issues are created by patriarchy. So I would like to look at why are men not safe, why are men not secure, or why are they so insecure that they are attacking the security of women.
Oh,
Because
that's a nice
like,
way of putting it.
yeah, so if you I mean, even rape, the way it has been psychologically looked at, that it's not about sex, it's about power. So if you want power that badly, why, what has happened to you to make you so violent? Because again, you can, it seems like we are very angry with the person who commits any such act, and rightly so. But a person who's constantly being violent, shouting, it's a sign of a lot of unhappiness, right? It's a sign of trauma. So, what is happening to men that is making them so violent? I'm not saying the onus of finding this out should be on men, but on in the entire on women, because they have already suffered, and if they take care of themselves, that's more than enough. But for on the entire society to find out what kind of people are you raising, what kind of men are you raising, that they are so feeling so broken and so desperate, that they are trying to, why are they feeling so powerless that they are trying to get their power back through these really skewed and perverted means. So, and for that, going back to our earlier discussion about responsibility, child rearing is not only a responsibility, it's a privilege to have a home life, a safe home, a beautiful home life. To, I mean, I have a niece, so of course she's not my primary responsibility, and I live in a village, she lives in the city. So every time I go, I make her my priority. I rush from the airport to or the bus stand to meet her, because it's a privilege. Nobody will say anything if I don't go, I don't have to. But it's such a joy to be with my niece or to be with my sister, spend time at home with the people I love. And why should men not have access to this joy, which is making them so joyless, that they are resorting to all this? So I think we also need to look at how we are, like, what we are depriving men of. And patriarchy has just taught them to look at it as a responsibility, as a burden. But actually, it's like they've been betrayed, because it's a beautiful gift to be actively involved, as much involved in your home as in the rest of the world.
True, true. Now you said you've come from, you stay in the village. So are women in rural India uh, safer or more empowered than we generally, when we think of rural India, we believe the society has made us believe that women in rural India are not strong, are the typical abla nari, are not empowered enough, are not safe enough. Is this true? Uh, how are they there?
I also used to go to rural India a lot, as a reporter or as a theater artist. That's not true. You would find that women in villages are very outspoken about a lot of issues. We did a play on menstruation, they were very vocal, especially the older women, maybe younger women less so. Uh, they have spoken about sex, also because privacy is also a luxury, right? So if you have small houses and something happens in one home, and you can hear the entire argument, the next neighbor knows what is happening. In cities, probably, of course, in some areas you don't have that privacy. In middle class home you have it, so a lot gets hidden, people are not as outspoken. So it's definitely not a black and white. What I did notice in my current stay was that while women in the villages do want to work, because that very common pattern of our husbands are drinking and they are not bringing in money, so we want to do something and earn. So if in cities they get some jobs, they don't have any backing because they've left their villages to come to
Yes.
cities. They have no economic backing, no backing from a family or a community. So somehow they are doing the jobs, and they are getting that, monthly salary, and economically they are doing better. In villages, what is happening is, even if the women are getting the jobs and even if they are bringing in the money, this they still cannot do it as professionally many times. Again, not to say it for everyone, because that hold of the family or community is there. So, like, I was talking to a woman who had to come to my house and work, and she said that my mother-in-law started fighting with me, so I couldn't. So a lot of these things, even though she wants to earn, she wants to do well for her children, get them education, healthy food, the family and community, if the community is being very sarcastic, giving a lot of taunts, then they will feel discouraged. So the family and community are also support if something happens, but they can also pull you back. While in the city, that freedom is a little more.
Mm.
And also, while I would say economic poverty or cash poverty is greater in villages, at least if we are looking at certain classes who don't have a lot of land, there is a little bit of security because, your basics are kind of taken care of. You will not have like a luxurious or a healthy meal, but you'll have dal roti.
Yes.
Or you will have, a very small house, a very simple house, but you will have a house. But in
Mm.
Delhi or Bombay, you can't have, you have to pay rent. So there is that difference where women get a chance to be a little more free. I have, from what I have seen in the cities, while in the villages it kind of sometimes becomes a struggle because the community and the family are constantly, pulling you back and saying, "But your primary responsibility is your home, and you
Mm.
can't be away working 7 8 hours a day."
Yes. So there really isn't much difference because I'm sure women in cities also end up facing this a lot कि घर भी संभालो, you know, सुबह जाने के पहले आप डब्बा भी बनाओ, नाश्ता भी बनाओ, वापस रात को घर आके फिर रात का खाना बनाओ and laundry is mostly done by women and yes, so we really haven't gone far. हम चांद पे तो पहुंच गए हैं but there is still a long journey ahead of us and I think women like you, women who talk about, gender equality, talk about empowering women. I think we need more of women like you and women in Laja. We need a bigger tribe. We need a tribe which will hold hands and truly, pull each other up. Uh, so, what change would you personally like to see in society on, this Women's Day? Because, like I said, ads se shuru ho gaya. We've already seen a lot of ads in newspapers about discounts and sales happening for Women's Day. But what is the change that you personally would like to see this special day, this special Women's Day?
The change I would like to see is in all of us women is to stop waiting and just do it already.
Wow,
See,
yes,
just thinking of, I will do it when my parents allow me. I will do it when my in laws are convinced. I will do it when my partner understands me on this subject. These are important people in your life. So, of course, have discussions with them. Let them know your point of view. But don't wait. Vandana, I'm talking to you right now. I can die right now. But I would at least know that since the time I became an adult, and even more so when I became financially independent, I've been trying really hard to live the life I want to live. So, I would die with that satisfaction. So don't wait for things to become perfect, and they never do.
they never
And
do.
don't wait that you will have everyone's ashirwad and everyone's validation and then you will do things. Things get messy. It's okay. But finally, you will benefit everyone. Maybe even, your mom who was stopping you, she will get space. She will realize, if my daughter can do it, why not I? So look at it as a positive thing. Just stop waiting for everyone's approval and everyone's validation before you go after your dreams.
So true, so true. This is where, again, I come back to what we at Lajja say. We talk about self empowerment. And, a lot of people have asked us, why do you say self empowerment and not just empowerment? So, our answer has always been that, You really cannot empower a person if she herself doesn't want to be empowered. So I can take the horse to the water, but अगर घोड़ा पानी नहीं पीना चाहता तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं? So it has to be about self empowerment. Wow, this has been amazing, Ankita. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure talking to you. And I know there are many more conversations that we can have, many more topics that we can touch about. But this March 1st, the day when we start off with all the celebrations for Women's Day and Women's Week and Women's Month, like you said, let us first give women the space to grow. Let us women ourselves take hold of our own lives and do something about it. And yes, together I'm sure we can help each other out and make this world a better place. Thank you
Yes,
so much,
definitely.
Ankita.
Thank you. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Same here.
Thank you,
Thank you
Vandana.
so much. Till we meet again, I hope we meet again in person someday soon. But till we meet again, take care and have a safe life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
And yes, wasn't that a beautiful conversation? Also, a beautiful conversation because our guest was so beautiful. And beauty radiates on the face, but beauty radiates from within. She's been doing some remarkable work in her space. And I read out her introduction to you, so you can already gauge, you can understand how amazing she is as a person. She's doing wonderful work. She was also awarded the Rex Karamveer Chakra last year, and she has been, when we started this conversation with her, we spoke about, the biases that plague women, and that is where we came up. We spoke about the unbiased news, as in talking about news without any bias, without any, male, female, ooch, niche, that kind of a thing. And it's amazing to have spoken to her. Yes, moving forward. Like this, we did it in January and February. So this year, LAJA TV is doing something very special, very unique for our LAJA Growth Platform members also. LAJA Growth Platform is a unique, specialized learning platform that we have on subscription for women who are interested in helping themselves grow. So we talk about, we have learning sessions, we have vocational skills training, we have mentors coming in and guiding our women, we have hand holding, we have peer reviews, we have peer support, more than reviews, we have peer support, and we have a buddy system in place. We have weekly, monthly, yearly audits just to see how far along we have come in our goals, in the goals that we have set. So, taking that conversation ahead, I will now call upon Sureka Ritesh to come on screen. And Sureka is one of our Laja Growth Platform members. Welcome, Sureka. And Sureka will be interviewing a fellow Laja Growth Platform member. So, Sureka, over to you. I'm going into the background.
Thank you so much, Vandana, for this opportunity. Hello, everyone. I'm Sureka Ritesh and a proud Laja Growth Platform member. And today with us on Laja TV, we have Meena ji. And I'll give the floor to her and have her introduce herself and tell us what does she do.
Yes, thank you so much, Sureka. So good to be here. It just so happens that I'm traveling. I'm in a car, so uh, I'm sorry, but my background is a little, and I guess I hope you can see me clearly.
Yes, we can.
So yes, I'm Meena Shah. I'm an educator by profession. Proud mother of a 27-year-old young man, and yes, I enjoy my work very much, and I am very dedicated to my work too.
Great. Meena ji, can you also share with our Laja TV audience on how long have you been with LGP and what have you learned from us?
Yes, so I've been with LGP almost from the start, I think, which was maybe 3, 4 years ago. And yes, learned so much from them actually. Learned so much from LGP first. Of course, I remember not knowing how to use social media. I
Hmm.
knew nothing about LinkedIn. I knew nothing about Instagram. And today I'm quite a pro. And all that has happened because of, the learnings that I had from the Laja Growth platform. So, and I also recently joined the Unnati Ki Pathshala, where
Awesome.
we learnt about marketing, and something which I was not very good at. And again, I have a totally different perspective about it, and this has helped me greatly. And of course, as as we also have so many other meetings and all where we learn so much, our audits. So all that has also helped me greatly.
Great. Thank you so much, Meenaji, for sharing that. Yes, Laja Growth Platform is a platform made by women for women with women, keeping in mind women's self development and women empowerment. And we do this through various initiatives of Laja.
Yes.
Truly, truly. Like I said when I was introducing Sureka, Sureka is also a Laja Growth platform member, and so is Meena. And Meena, I'm so glad that you brought up Unnati Ki Pathshala, because that is a segment where we have, focused entirely on learning. There have been many programs that we have launched, and today being, like I said, this is a special day. It's March 1st, and it is the month where we'll be celebrating women. What I urge women to do, the Unnati Ki Pathshala is open to women across. You don't necessarily have to be a Laja woman. But what I would urge all of you to do is, when you get an opportunity to learn, and to learn from the best at discounted rates. I mean, the rates that our facilitators give us at Laja is really, really economical. So when you're getting an opportunity to learn from the best, learn the best, I think you should just go ahead and grab it, because opportunities like these are few and far between. And Meena ji is a great example of someone who has learned. She just told you that she did not know anything about social media, but now look at Meena ji. She does lives, she does interactive sessions on Instagram, something that I still have to learn. But yes, Laja has always strived to give you this, give women this. And I think each one of you who's listening to us, who has tuned in or will listen to us later, you must take advantage of the Unnati Ki Pathshala initiative that Laja has undertaken. And yes, before we sign off, let's quickly wish all our women a very wonderful and empowering Women's Day, because this day is all about you.
Absolutely. Wishing everyone not only a happy Women's Day, but a happy Women's Month and celebration.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I wish you all the same too. And to all the women who are listening, you a very, very happy Women's Day to all. And yes, you must, learn and continue learning forever. That's what I believe in. And as I said, and Unnati Ki Pathshala or any other learning from Lajja, it's definitely worth it. So it will be great if you, become part of Lajja.
Awesome. Thank you. I have two of my spokeswomen here talking for Laja with Laja. Thank you so much. With that, we end today's episode. We will be back on April 1st, not on April Fool's Day, but on April 1st with another special guest and other learning and other exciting interaction. I love these interactions, and I hope you do too. Thank you. Take care and good night. Bye bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Good night.